It's recording.
This week on Legends, we have the Apollo's own DJ Jess on Legends with Russell Thomas. It's the remix. We starting early today. Happy New Year. Happy holidays. I don't even know how to start this. I feel like it's deja vu. Destiny's deja vu. Those are my daughter's names. So They got their shout out the year. So this is what we're going to do.
What we going to do?
This week on Legends, we have the Apollo's own DJ Jess. Nasty up, DJ Jess.
Nasty up.
That's
man.
what I'm talking about. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. Can I say your government name?
You know you can't say my
I can't say your government name?
No.
Okay.
No.
So we just gonna go with the Apollo's own DJ Jess.
Let's leave it at that.
You never leave it at that, but that's that.
But I mean, I'm back so quick.
That's right. Because you couldn't stay away. I'm glad we had the Pollard's name. We caught you at Teterboro Airport because I know you was about to go.
That's very true.
Yeah, listen. I thank you once again. We did it. We liked it so much. We had to do it again to start the new year off right.
Hey, I don't mind being your first guest of the new year.
That's
special,
a blessing.
Man.
That's
special.
a blessing. You done changed. You got the Biggie sweatshirt on.
Yeah. This is a hot piece, man. And I got to give a big shout out to my man Wayne. Wayne designs my T-shirts and a lot of stuff for some really nice folks. And he blessed me with this hoodie right here. Before we can get started, big shout out to Wolf Nation, my number one sponsor, as well as Wayne, like I said, who handles all that PR stuff. So I appreciate them.
Wolf Nation, did you hear that? I know you got a package for me, a legal package.
We always got something for you.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
We always got something for
There
you.
we go. That's what I'm talking about. We good to go up in here.
You one came in here with the throwback Shirley on, man. That
Yo.
was a piece. But the problem is, it's 56 degrees out there.
Yo,
bro.
I don't care.
That's it.
Yo, let me tell you something. Before we get started, if I ever hit that Mega Millions, you're going to know it's me because I'm going to have on the dope black father mask. I'm going to have on a fat LL Cool J rope chain, some sunglasses, and some Timberlands. That's all I'm wearing.
That's all you wear. Don't
swaying in the breeze.
Don't run into me.
Yo, swaying in the breeze.
Don't run into me.
I had cats on when I got out the whip. They was like, yo, is that a shilling? That's about my size. Not today.
Word?
Yeah, not today. You don't seem to understand. There's a lot going on in the country, and I'm with the shenanigans today.
Hey, man. Today, man, I mean, today has just been one of those days, bro.
Yeah.
Woke up, and that's what I always tell folks, yo. You never know what's around the corner or what the day holds. Because you would never be able to tell me that all that craziness going on in D.C. would be going on today. You know, I expected it to be somewhat of a normal day, you know, and then come down here and kick it with you. But we was glued to the TV for 3 hours with all this nonsense, man.
Listen, tell me.
Yo, I am so glad 2 weeks from the day we starting all over again.
Starting from scratch.
Starting from scratch, bro.
46 will be in there.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's a blessing.
I won't even bless him with saying what 45, man. Forget that shit.
No, I don't even say his name. Okay, so let's turn the focus off of politics.
Okay.
And put it on to the Apollo's own DJ Jess. So, Jess, tell me.
Talk to me.
How did all this get started? Was it the Acapulco Film Festival that I didn't get an invitation to?
Let me tell you something. Back then, I was happy to get an invitation. And that's exactly how it started. Like I said, back then, I was actually a host hype man. You know, so I wasn't really rocking the tables at parties. I was doing it more so behind the scenes, you know. They would bring me in to host and, you know, rock parties. And then my boy, like I told you, Kurt Gilmore, part of Gill and Gill, asked me to come to Acapulco to rock out with him out there, you know. And we went out there, and we're doing the damn thing. And on the first night, opening night, man, the clubs out there were crazy because they were in caves and stuff like that. So the first night, we were in a cave, and you see, and everybody you think and would want to meet is down there rocking, and Kurt is like doing this thing. But it's a long night. And so he calls me at the next day. He's like, yo, you still playing? I said, of course. He said, well, here's what we're going to do. He said, you rock out the first part of the evening, and I'll rock out the second part of the evening. I'm with it, you know. I want to play anyway. I'm looking like, yeah, boom. So we come in the next day. Well, at least I got there first. And I rock from 9 to about 12, 12:30, man. And I'm sitting down there watching all these celebs rock out to me, man. And I'm like, oh, I could do this shit. When I get back to the States, I ain't hyping no more. I want to play. And that's where it took off. And, you know, we continue to do the Black Film Festival for like 10, 12, maybe 14, 15 years after that. And I became a fixture with them as far as, you know, doing everything, you name it, whatever parties there were. We were opening parties, closing parties, Nickelodeon, setups for everything, you know, and it just, I just loved doing it. And it became real comfortable, and, you know, it was just, you practice, you get good, and then there was a ton of other things that kind of took off in between that. But that was where the next level of playing started.
Would you say in that incorporation of a ton of other things that all came together, would that happen to be a movie you was in with Halle Berry called
Strictly Business?
Strictly Business. I would go to sleep and wake up. It would always be on that part where you walking down in the hallway where you pass the actor.
Yeah.
Right? How long were you on the set, first of all?
The funniest thing about that movie is I was actually on the set probably a few weeks because I had several scenes that I did. And I became really good friends with Josie Phillips, who played Halle Berry's love interest, and Tommy Davidson. And we're still good friends.
That was the tall dude, right?
Exactly, Josie.
Okay.
And so that kind of kept me on the set, you know, and from that point on, you know, I became friends with a lot of people on the set, so it kind of connected me with other projects. So it kind of like catapulted me to do a lot of extra work and, you know, cameos in some projects. And that was actually, almost 10 years before the film festival, because that was like early 90s, 1991.
Really?
Yeah, I was doing modeling and television and all that way before I got into the hosting and stuff. And the only reason I got into hosting is because, like I was telling you the last time, I was out there and I'm doing the state thing and I'm doing the movie thing and the modeling. I'm doing the entertainment thing like you wouldn't believe. And I came in the house though one day, and my oldest son, who was about 7 or 8 at the time, asked me if I still live here. So that kind of paused me, stopped me in my tracks, and made me think like, okay, I'm missing out. You know, I felt like I was still doing stuff, and I was, but there was still so much that I was missing out on. And my wife at the time, she hated entertainment. She was just like, because it took a lot of your time, so she wasn't really, and I had a 9 to 5, so she wasn't really a fan of the whole entertainment thing, although she let me do me with that. And but once my son said it, it really hit home, and she was in my ear, and I decided to fall back from it. And I fell back from it for a couple of years. It was miserable because I love entertainment, but I was enjoying being with my kids aspect of it. And I was asked to, because I was actually doing this dating game show at the Peppermint Lounge with WBLS and Dr. Bob Lee and Shayla and Vernon Random Access asked me if I would come and start hosting some events for him. And I was like, nah, I turned him down the first time. And then we met up sometime later, and he asked me to if I was interested at that point. And I said, oh, yeah, I'll give it a go, thinking it was just going to be something random. And lo and behold, you know, I take everything I do seriously, and it's an art. And I fell in love with hosting, you know, whether it's a wedding, whether it was a party, you name it. Like, getting people engaged and just commanding people was something that just became second nature to me. And next thing you know, I was years into that, you know, and fast forward, next thing you know, I went to Acapulco with Kurt, and, you know, the rest just started falling in place, you know. And it's been a great ride. Because wherever I go, I'm like a sponge. I kind of like sit there and absorb everything because I'm always thinking like of my next project or my next move because I never get complacent. So, and that's today as well. I took and listened a lot, made some moves because I never wanted to have lapses in my career and what I'm doing. So I always, like I said, always trying to be 2 steps ahead because I always had the thought in my mind that nothing lasts forever. So once I'm done with this, what's next? And being in entertainment allowed me to really take care of my family really good. So those were the things.
I can tell.
Those were the things I didn't want to go forward to go backwards.
Right.
So it was a matter of working really hard and grinding and creating a team that helped me do what I do. Right. Because my team, like as you can see them out there, they're pretty much the same.
They go with you everywhere they go.
They are with me on a regular basis. And these guys and ladies, and they just allow me to be very comfortable in what I do because they pick up. Like I have to shout Team Jess out because see the thing about Team Jess is people don't see them, but they are why I am. They are the reason for me being who I am today and successful because they pick up all the pieces. Everybody knows their role and they just make it work for me. Thank God.
That's what's up. Hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you guys something that some people know this, but I remember he actually always had a job when he was working for the state government. I would always know. I won't say his whole government name, but DJ Jess used to drive. Was it Crown Vic?
It was out there. Yeah.
It was a Crown Vic with tinted windows, and he used to crack the windows about a couple of inches. Hey, yo, Kent, what's up? Because at the time we were playing the city softball league.
Yes, we were. Yep.
I think you played for the Assassins.
I did.
And I played for the Mayor's team, but we were always friends.
Yep.
So I remember when you came over to the fast pitch team, the Nasty Boys, because we partied from Friday night to Sunday.
Did y'all ever?
Oh, wait a minute. You was a Nasty Boy, but you had a plan. You had other things going on.
Yeah, at that time I really did.
You had the modeling.
Yep.
The acting.
Yep.
Evidently you was a hype man, and for you to say you're a hype man, when I think of a hype man, I think about Flavor Flav. You were definitely not Flavor Flav. You're just smooth with it.
But with being a hype man and a host, I don't turn it on until I get to where I'm going. In my mind, I'm going through it and I'm preparing for what I'm doing. But it's like my team will tell you, it's like 30 minutes before I'm about to do what I do, my mind gets in the zone. So when I'm out there with them and that, I'm good. But just before I get ready to go, my zone sets in. And that's the same thing as we talked down the line about the Apollo. Getting zoned in for that.
So we got a picture here. We're gonna do picture number 2.
We do?
I'm gonna show you a picture. Cause you seem to be with some cat here. Can we put it up on the screen? Yeah. Do you recognize that young man right there?
Yeah, that's Mr. Denzel Washington.
What about the dude to his right?
Yeah, that's a young DJ Jess.
That's a young DJ Jess who could probably hit a pop fly over second base and turn it into a triple at Casburger Field. You was like a $140, but you could run like the wind, bro.
They called me Birdman back then.
Why they call you Birdman?
Because I could run.
Because you could run and you was running. Listen, one time we decided to go, as a group, we went to Puerto Rico.
Yes, we did.
And I won't say the councilman's name, but when we got to Puerto Rico, all of the council people that went stayed at the Sands Hotel.
Nice hotel.
It was a gorgeous hotel, 5-star.
Yep.
And he said, the city of Newark All-Stars can stay across the street. Now, if you remember the Lincoln Motel will be a 5-star hotel compared to where we stayed.
It would be. He's not lying, yo.
Listen. The third floor of this place, I can't remember the name. I want to say it's El-Caribe.
El-Caribe, correct.
It was El-Caribe?
El-Caribe.
The third floor was located around back.
Around back.
It was on the ground floor. They called it the third floor, but it was a ground floor. And you know how when you walk into a hotel room and you got the air conditioner over the door, you go, that's a kind of an odd place to put it. And it's even odder when the air conditioner is missing and it's just a hole right there. Yo,
that was crazy.
Yes.
the thing about that trip is you were so hyped to go.
Yes.
And then you got there and you're like, wow, I could have stayed in Newark for this, yo. This is crazy.
So I can go back to the Lincoln for this.
You know how hard it was to talk my wife into coming to Puerto Rico?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But we had a good time there.
Oh, we did, man. That was the first time I ever partied with cops.
Yes.
That was drinking on the job and jumping in the water with guns on. It was,
wait. We're talking about the Puerto Rican State Police. We're not talking about the cops that went with us.
No.
Because the cops that went with us was the All-Stars.
Right.
And the other cops that the councilman gave our rooms to was at the time FOP.
Yep.
They had our rooms. They was partying with Ruben Sierra, a couple of Yankees that went.
Yep.
And we staying at the Puerto Rican Lincoln Motel.
Yeah.
But luckily, we found another place.
Yes, we did. But we had to walk over there with the luggage.
We had to walk over there with our luggage and get settled. It took us 20 minutes to unpack all that stuff and 5 minutes to pack all that stuff up and make it around the corner to the nicer hotel.
We were so glad to get out of there, bro. And we was glad to get out of there.
Listen, we actually, when you go and Jess is telling the truth, you would go to the field and it would be cases of Budweiser.
High cases, yo.
High cases of Budweiser and a pig roasted.
Pig. I mean, the pig was rolling. The pig was rolling,
Yes.
bro.
Yes.
I ain't lying.
And they expected us to play softball.
But like I said, man, after a day or so, you didn't even care if you played
No,
anymore.
you was too drunk to play.
You was like, no, you can't. I can't do this. Hot, you talking about hot? Shit.
Yes. That Caribbean hot.
Yeah, it really was, man.
But once again, it just shows how far back me and Jess go.
Yes, we do, man.
And Jess, I had to apologize because Jess used to invite me to spots because we're actually neighbors. But the thing is, you know how you got Beverly Hills and then you got Sorry Hills. So I'm in Sorry Hills and he in Beverly Hills, and he used to invite me to spots because he always promoted. He never forget where he came from. He would invite me. Come on, Ken, I'm having a cigar and
cigars, yeah,
and a couple other events. And I'd be like, at the time my schedule was crazy, but he always included me. So every once in a while, I would see DJ Jess. I'm just gonna call him DJ Jess. He go, Kent, you don't never come to my shows.
I did.
But the Joker having shows down in
Edgewater.
No, not even. What was the other place with Deltas and?
Oh, you talking about New Brunswick?
New Brunswick.
Yeah.
And I know if I'm drinking corn liquor, I don't drink no more, allegedly. If I get down there and I'm feeling good and smoking a cigar, there's no way I'm gonna come back. Then I gotta sleep on my lawn. I gotta come with all kind of excuses. So, but luckily, when I see him passing through Sorry Hills, you know, when he's on his way to Teterboro,
stupid.
He'll holler at me, okay, I'm having this such and such. But he always showed love. He always watched out. So I thank you for that.
Man, I don't forget where I come from, bro. There's so many people that help me out, and believe me, staying humble is just who my parents made me to be. You know?
Listen, it's a blessing, and it's nothing but love.
Definitely.
Nothing but love.
Definitely.
So tell me, what came after the Acapulco? Well, it was originally an Acapulco Film Festival. What came after that?
After Acapulco, like I said, I continued to. I came back playing.
Mm-hmm.
So as I came back playing, you know, I was just doing everything from weddings to parties to a few high-profile things, and then I remember Bob Sumner. Bob Sumner is one of the producers from Def Comedy Jam, and Bob was doing some local shows. Which he was having Kurt supply the DJs, and he had Will on the set, and me and Will were really good friends. To this day, we're like brothers. And I remember kind of like weaving my way into that. I was like, Will, let me play, you know. And Will was like, sure. He said, you do the comedy part, and I'll do the after party. So that became like the thing every Thursday. You know, I would come up in there, rock out, and the host of that was comedian Talent. Okay. And I had already known Talent, so that connection was fine. And I remember we kind of like, because even though we were cool, we didn't see each other a lot, but that gave us a chance to kind of like kick it a little bit more. And I remember after a while of doing that, he was like, okay, I'm about to put together It's Just Comedy tour. And I remember the first one he was about to do, Had an all-star lineup. Bill Bellamy, Kevin Hart. He was opening comedian. Bill Blur. I mean, it was a whole hell of a lineup. And I said, well, let me get on this. And he was. I remember us going back and forth on these numbers because he was definitely, because he knew I was new to this, trying to lowball me. And I'm like, yo, I ain't that new to this. So we went back and forth, because that's what it got. The first tour we did, he wanted TVs for the after parties that played the videos. I mean, I was like, yo, T, come on, you can't get this for this. So we bumped heads for a minute, and he finally agreed to what our song was gonna cost me. And we got out there, and it was just like, it was like magic, But over the couple of years, because I think I was with that for about 3 years. I did about three, maybe 4 years worth of touring. Man, you talking about taking your bumps. They had jokes. They had they treated you like the new cat, yo. And my team was looking at me like, yo, they abusing us. I was like, don't worry about it. I got a plan, And I tell TT no to this day I had a plan. And I put up with it. It got better. But like I said, the first couple of tours, he was like, yo, I don't even want to do this shit no more. Because it's just like, yo, you the first one there, you the last one to leave, and no respect. It's straight up, But you earn that, And I got, when you get good at what you do, and that was the whole thing to make sure I became an asset. So it became, they knew that I was reliable, and they knew what I brought to the table. And once we got to that point, it became really good. And then we created another show in addition to that, which is still running. It's only not running because of COVID. And it was every last Sunday of the month, we were at the Stress Factory. And that show was actually 13 years running.
Wow.
Yeah, we had the longest running show at the Stress Factory, Talent and Friends. And we've been doing that. And that just led me to do a lot of different comedy tours. I had no idea that comedy would be this big for me, because I've been blessed. You name it, I've been there. DJ, Tommy, Kevin, oh my God, Cheryl Underwood. I've been able to do so many, and I'm with DL right now. It's just a blessing. It's just a blessing. And I just keep working hard, man. That's all I do. Try to bring something to the table and make yourself an asset, and get requested. My thing is I always try to work hard enough when my phone rings, and my phone continues to ring. So it's a beautiful thing.
I heard a story that at some point in time, you got to audition for the Apollo, or how did that come about?
The crazy part about the Apollo is I didn't have to audition. I had been doing several shows at the Apollo. Throwback shows, concerts for artists, different people. So, again, matter of taking advantage of opportunities. Every time I hit that Apollo stage, now Apollo is Apollo. So, I've learned that when I hit stages in different places, don't get in awe. Just go in there and make it your home. And that's what I did each time I went to the Apollo. Whether I had a 20-minute set or I was part of the whole show for 2 hours, I was making sure I was getting the most of my time. And I remember leaving a meeting with a casting director friend of mine, and as I was walking out, the phone rang. And on the other end, it was a gentleman named Joe Gray. He's the set-it-off man for the Apollo. And he said, hey, this is Joe Gray from the Apollo. You remember me? And I said, yeah. He said, well, would you be interested in joining the amateur night show for X, Y, and Z? And I was like, yeah, who wouldn't be? Boom. And he said, okay, cool. I'll get back to you. Boom. And I remember as I was getting in the car, I hung up the phone, and I'm just sitting there like, dang, amateur night show. This is a show in the making for, feel like forever. And I called my wife and told her about the call, and she was happy for me. And we had a small conversation about it. And I said, they're going to get back to me. She said, okay, cool. And I went on about my business, doing everything. And that was in November. And I remember December came, and I'm like, wow, nobody called me back. The thing about it is, there's certain things that you want, but you don't want to really, emphasize that because you don't want to kind of like get disappointed.
Right.
So I kind of like had it in the back of my mind, but at the same time, like I said, I was working, so I was still working. And I remember the New Year came, and I finished my New Year event that year, and I'm like, damn, this is now January, and I ain't even heard from the Apollo. I was like, I guess, it wasn't meant to be, but it was nice to get that call. They must have went in another direction. Because I had no inkling of how the Apollo season ran, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I just assumed they went on, without me. And I remember it being the end of the month, and I remember the phone ringing. And I'm like, it's like, hey, this is Joe Gray again. Remember? I said, yeah. He said, I was calling to see if you were still interested in, doing the Apollo. I'm like, of course, yeah. He said, we can come in for an interview tomorrow. I was like, yeah. And he gave me all the information, and we set up a time in the afternoon. And I remember going over there, and when I got there, I ain't gonna lie, I was nervous. Like, cause let me tell you, it's one thing to walk in this house, do what you gotta do, and be out.
Uh-huh.
I am going now for an interview to be in there every week. This is gonna be my home, my residency. So I got there, I went upstairs to the offices, met with the producer, Mary J. Caffey, and we're talking, and he's giving me a layout of the show and what they're looking for and, things of that nature. And I'm just sucking it all in because I want to, see what they're talking about and see if I can make this work. And I was doing my damnedest not to try to overtalk myself because, sometimes you can, it's a such thing as talking too much. So this is where you just listen. And that's what I was doing. And I remember after, I could say 20, 30 minutes, I don't know the exact time, he's like, well, let's go downstairs. And I'm like, okay. So we go downstairs. I remember getting downstairs, and I'm just listening, as I said. And we turn and we go into the theater, and we're walking down towards the stage because he wanted to, show me some stuff on the stage. And as we're walking down, he goes, yeah, so when you start tomorrow, yeah. And he said, when you start tomorrow, that's all I heard. We went up on the stage. He's pointing stuff out. I ain't hear none of that, bro. My mind is like, yo, I'm doing it. It's like it's like in the home run, bro.
Absolutely.
Yo, it's because see the thing about that is, I am the first ever DJ for Amateur Night. They never had a DJ.
So they never had one.
No.
Wow.
They never had a DJ. In the history of the Apollo, I'm still the first and only residential DJ at the Apollo. So it was funny. And he said, when you start tomorrow. So I'm like, start tomorrow? I ain't ready to start tomorrow. That's what I'm saying in my head. But shit, we'll do this. So I get in the car, and I'm like this, Yo, hun, they gave me the job.
Wow.
So we talking, we're happy, I said, but I got to start tomorrow. So I said, I got to come home and get this together. Because at that time, I was doing, I was opening the show, and I was doing intermission. So, the thing about it is, you're trying to do so much to impress in the first 20 minutes you have, that sometimes you can overdo your job, but nobody knows that but you,
right.
So, like for me, it took me a minute to get comfortable because I kept trying to figure it out.
So what's a minute in all us layman terms? What would be a minute?
It took me 2 years.
Okay.
Nobody knew this.
Right.
But for me, technically, it took me 2 years to feel comfortable with walking on that stage and knowing where I was going. Because again, the first year, it was a trial and error, so I didn't know that I would have a second year. Okay. Because at the end of the season, because season starts in January, it ends in November.
Okay.
So in November, when I knew I was about to hit my last show, I'm like, wow, this was nice. I would love to continue to do this because everything's on a contract. Year by year, you sign a new contract. And I was hurt because I really thought that was going to be it. Our producer is really strict, and he's stone-faced. So you don't know whether he's thinking of keeping you or, I got the good job and, stuff like that. But I didn't know. So when I walked off that stage at the end of the last show of my first season, and they said, we'll see you next year, I was on cloud 9.
So you had no idea.
I had no idea. I didn't want to take it for granted.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because if I said, yeah, all right, when we start this next year, and they go, well, it was nice to have you, but, we're not going to use a DJ next year.
So wait a minute. Excuse me for cutting you off, but let me ask you. So you would have known that you weren't going to come back for the next year if Sandman would have came out and then one of them in your set and snatch you off, right? I'm just checking. I don't know how that works.
That would have been embarrassing, but I would have known. I'd be like, oh shit, I ain't part of that part of the show, is it? Oh man. Oh, that's funny. That is funny. But in my second season, it kind of allowed me to create some things, and by the third season, when we were really having these conversations, because even after the second season, I was hoping again. But about 3 years in, I really started to feel like I could create something that was really, really me and really, really contribute to the show. And, when producers see your ideas and, they fit, because our producer is a tough producer. Knock on wood. I mean, he's great for the show. He does, he makes the show work. Mm-hmm. So for him to let me incorporate that in a few years in, that means he has some trust in me, and I didn't want to let him down or myself down. And, that kind of made me start to feel comfortable. So after about 3 years in, I started worrying about when I left the stage, on that last show, whether I was going to be back, and now it's like 11 years later. I'm doing amateur night shows, and it doesn't get old. It doesn't get old, you still get excited. That's because it's something about that theater. I watch other super names come in there, and they're just as excited as I am to hit that stage, and it's amazing.
Do you rub the log every time?
No, I don't rub the log every time. I actually touch the log, rub the log, doing sound check. Okay. Because I come out, that's what you call stage left and stage right. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm on stage right. Log is on stage left. Okay. So my rig is strictly in the center, so I can't walk by. I can, but I choose not to. But believe me, I touch it doing my sound check.
And professionalism, I guess. I guess when you get used to it, you do what you do. All I'm saying is, I remember Jess telling me, Kent, you need to come to the Apollo to amateur night.
I've been trying to get you there.
You haven't tried.
God.
So my daughters, I was like, listen, they had something they got to do. I said, listen, what I'm going to do is, when COVID is over and amateur night kicks back, I'm going to reach out to Jess and see if you and your friends can go there and watch amateur night.
Oh, no, we'll make it happen. And we can also, because like now I also do the holiday show there. So, I mean, and holiday, gospel holiday shows like no other. I mean, I get to work with Hezekiah, Yolanda Adams, Donald Lawrence. I mean, these great names. And these people are real humble and they're really good, and to be on that bill with them, and to be a part of the show with them, it's like I'm speechless because, to be asked to be on part of the show with them, it just speaks to, the hard work, and I thank God for allowing me to get those calls, and I never take it for granted.
Listen, you've obviously been blessed.
Oh, yeah.
And like I said, it was just pure luck that we're doing the remix because it's a ride from Teterboro Airport
Here we go.
to come back to Newark just to give me an hour of because your time is precious, but it's still a special moment when you got a cat that I don't know where his team went, but just getting them jokers inside the private jet.
He's stupid.
and flying over. Last time they came, I know they was in a helicopter. I watched them when they circled. Because they was like, we ain't going to Prince Street. And he looked around and said, no, it looks different. Yes, Prince Street is different. We're here at 135 Prince Street at the Hub Life Radio Arts and Therapy.
Hub Life. Appreciate y'all for having me.
Absolutely. We appreciate you being here. And it's the first show of the new year. I know that you actually had something on New Year's.
Yeah, I did. I was supposed to actually be in Vegas for New Year's, but with everything going on out there, I was like, and my wife was like, we really shouldn't do Vegas. And I was like, okay, so we nixed Vegas, and I was asked, right after they found out I wasn't going to Vegas, I was asked to do a social distance New Year's Eve event, which really came off well because what happened was it was inside the Embassy Suites Hotel, and they had me and a band in the atrium area, and they sold all the rooms around the atrium area, and everybody got to celebrate on their balconies in a social distance way.
That's fly.
It was fly. But let me tell you, wherever you go, Okay? There's always a couple of people who don't want you there. Okay? So the same people that's at the Trump rally that's going on, acting up, they was over there acting up. Like, it's amazing how they are here, or they try to cater to them, because 90% of the people or more are out on their backs going, there's one people, oh, we're trying to sleep. Who's trying to sleep on New Year's Eve? And first of all, the wholesale should have been like, we have an event here, okay? If you check in, we're going to be rocking out till 1 o'clock. And the sad part is, they kept sending the only black lady at the desk over. She came over, I ain't giving no more money back because of you. And I'm like, miss, I said, we almost done. I'm just saying, this is more than we expected. What did you expect on New Year's? I mean, it ain't my show. I'm just there. But I'm looking like, stop. But it came off really well.
Let me tell you how fly it was. Very seldom do you ever see a black violinist. And she was rocking. Had on all white.
Oh, she was rocking.
She
did
was
a
doing
15-minute set, which I mixed, and she rocked out.
Yes.
She rocked out. I had worked with her about 2 months prior because a wedding I did outdoors, they hired her, and she came in and she blazed it. And I'm like, this chick is talented. And then to see that she was on the bill, I was like, okay, they're going to get a real treat. Because she not only can play, but she's got the personality to go with it. So she draws you in, and you're like, yo. And you're like this, So she definitely added to the evening. She definitely added to the evening.
So even though I was out, I was home, I didn't go out, I caught your show.
I told people, I said, I got to give y'all a taste of this. So I rocked on there for about 20 minutes or so.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Listen, man, to come up with that.
It's a great concept.
Absolutely. And what helps me out now that I'm your new manager, and we get that new W-2, I expect even bigger things and bigger venues so the check can be bigger.
It's going to have to be because you're expensive, bro.
Well, listen, I'm not expensive. This sheepskin's original sheepskin 30 years old. I don't have a Biggie sweatshirt with the diamonds in it. Oh, I shouldn't be saying that on Prince. But back to DJ Jess.
I zipped up the vest. You can't see it. I made sure I walked in and zipped the vest up.
Yo, we all gonna walk out together. We're gonna let Big Man walk out first.
Oh, man.
Listen. During this COVID, people had developed cabin fever.
Yep.
And just, you need something, even today, you need something to take you out of that zone and put you in a nice place. So I looked at, I was on Facebook, and I got an invite to a place called the
Grown Folks Lounge.
The Grown Folks Lounge.
Mm-hmm.
How did that come about?
Just like you said, they had we did the last show on the Apollo on the 18th, and I had actually just came back from Vegas, did the show, and then they shut everything down. And when you first home for the first few days, I caught up on so much TV. It was just like, yo, I don't want to watch TV no more. I mean, I didn't know there was so much on TV. So after about 3 or 4 days of watching TV, I was like, I can't watch TV no more. And at that time, I was at the station BKS1, and I did my last show there. I think it was that Friday, and then COVID was getting kind of serious, so I was like, I gotta kind of like boycott the station and send the shows in because stations, you shouldn't be anywhere at this point. So I made the deal to send the shows in with the station, but that was a little different. So I was like, okay, I'm doing this, but I feel like I'm just going through the motions. It's like it's easy, to play an hour show. So I was trying to figure out something because at that time every DJ was getting online. They were like out there rocking it. It was like a house party everywhere and so on. So I was trying to figure out something different. Thank you, Norm. And Norm played one day and I saw him rocking some smooth stuff. I said, oh, I could do that. And I got on. I said, all right, so I'm going to play some oldies. She said, okay, cool. I got on like 10 o'clock. People jumping on with me. Yo, it was 3 a.m. I played from 10 to 3. And I'm like, oh, this is a nice little thing to do. got back on the next day, 10-3. Now people were like hitting me like, yo. And I just randomly said, welcome to the Grown Folks Lounge. I had no idea I was going to do that. So after about a week of playing, people were waiting for me. So I'm like, okay, let me create something. And I said, but I got to create something with a smaller time frame. 5 hours a day of like music is a lot. Yeah. Even when you ain't got nothing to do, you know. I'm like down my, like what I'm considering my last song. I still got tons of people like, don't leave. I'm like, look. So we created a time frame like from 9 to 11 and 8 to 10. And then, you know, we started getting signature drinks in the lounge and naming presidents. Like, it was crazy, yo. It became a movement. And then we came up with the slogan, wish I had sent you a picture. It's called, we come together as many, but we leave as one. Mm-hmm. It's a unity in there, and it's called the Grown Folks Lounge. And the crazy part is today that we actually just opened up a page for it. And I opened a page for it 2 days ago. And we're closing in on it. That's it. Wow, you guys are on point. That's a crazy look I got up there, but okay. But that's our logo up there, okay? And anybody out there, if you want some great music, just go to Grown Folks Lounge 2020 on Facebook. And I do pop-ups because, you know, Facebook, you know, they got rights and stuff, so they shut you down from time to time. But we make it work. But it's a movement because there's so many other things that comes out of that, bringing folks together. Like I said, in the last 24 hours, I've had 600 new people jump on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I got cousins. I didn't know. I've known Jess since like the early '90s, maybe late '80s, early '90s. I have cousins that when he started doing the Grown Folks Lounge, and I think you had something else. My cousin Donna, I'm going to say whole government name just to give her some credit. Donna Beckwith, she would text me at 1 o'clock in the morning talking about, Kent, why you not on the whatever was on the Grown Folks Lounge and something else? I'm like, first of all, I'm asleep. Second of all, why is you up? I know the music is smooth. And then I found out, then we went to an event, I think it was a backyard party, because you were the official DJ of my cousins, the Hunters. Mm-hmm. I didn't know y'all grew up together. Mm-hmm. And first of all, I didn't know there was that many of them at the time. Because you know how you give out the FOP cards and jokers? I know, I was, decent, all right, my former life. And I would, officers would stop me and say, yo, we just let your cousin go. A little minor traffic thing. They say, yeah, you had your car. And I'm like, okay, that is my car, but who was this? And I find it's the daughter and the son or something. So then I go there as a backyard party, and DJ Jess is the official DJ of the Hunters and the Beckwiths and everybody else. Like, yeah, we know Jess for years. I'm like, that's my man. They was like, yo, but just because he's your man, you still need to tune in. And it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. They tuning in and to have your following. You and Tony Motley and Jazzy B. Got your own stuff going on. And eventually I have them on there. But I just think it's amazing that you're an official DJ of a family that party all the time. That just, listen, all I want is the corn liquor, and DJ Jess, and I'm good to go. You are truly blessed, and you got skills on the table, bro.
Yo, that's over years, and I love what I do, and like I always tell you, no matter what I'm doing, whether I'm doing something for a local group or I'm doing something under the lights, man, I take it real seriously. And in order to be good at what you do, you gotta practice and you gotta prepare. And when I talk to young cats and they ask me, about, going to next levels, I said, stay prepared, because you never know when the opportunity is going to open the door for you. And staying prepared, because a lot of time in entertainment, there's no such thing as a second chance or second opportunity. Let me say that. So you got to be ready for that opportunity. And being able to play, multiple cultures and different genres of music is a benefit to me. I do parties where I'm probably the only one in some of these rooms speak English. I'm serious. Mm-hmm. But I rock it like they think I'm Spanish. They think I got part Asian in me. It's art. It's art. And when people call my team, to inquire about me, and they tell them I can do this, I really can do this. You know, it's about being prepared. I try not to limit myself with anything. You know, and that's been a great plus for me.
Proper preparation prevents poor performance.
There you go.
That's what the Mr. Hub says here at 135 Prince Street, that Hub Life Radio. We have the Apollo's own DJ Jess, who actually gave us the reason why he's the Apollo's own DJ Jess, because he's the only one that's ever been signed to the Apollo. A series of one-year contracts like Tommy Lasorda. He has a one-year contract for how many years?
It's my 11th season. We'll be going into my 12th coming. Normally our season would start in about 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. So yeah, it would have been year 12 coming up. And we're slated now, if everything works out, to do something around June, because just like Broadway, we're closed. And I think once Broadway gets back up, because we're considered like the upper part of Broadway, we'll be back up. You know, it really depends on what goes on. You know, I miss it. I mean, you know, being an entertainer, you take entertaining for granted. You know, to get in your car and drive over to the theater every week, you know, it's like second nature to do that. Go out to entertain. It gets within you. You know, go out, do comedy shows, come back home, go do this. That actual every day a different spot, you know, just like second nature. So when you come to a screeching halt, you know, and now it's like the comedy shows have stopped, the Apollo's not going on, you know, there's nothing happening. You pause for a second, but then you kind of figure out, okay, this is a great opportunity to show some other side of you, you know. But like not to be on stage for almost a year, like at the Apollo, and to have the smaller shows, like, cause like we're still out with DL, but you know the venues have you know smaller caps on them, you know, like. It's amazing. You go down to a couple weeks, we're in Virginia, and, you know, they got 2 levels, but they can only seat the bottom level. You know, there's Miami this weekend, and, you know, like where these places were normally holding 300, you know, they can probably do 100 or a little over 100. That's it, you know, because of the restriction. So, you know, you learn to adjust, you know, but you're glad to be back out there, but you're trying to do it in a safe way. Because me, when I'm out there, I go from hotel to venue, grab food, back to the hotel. You know, none of that in between where you normally would just kind of like see the city or bouncing. Because me and my team, we love to eat. We love to eat and just kind of like hang out, do much of nothing. You know, and that's basically what we do. We keep each other company, hang out, and then head back home.
I know you love to eat, because Big Man, like, he could eat a whole restaurant by himself. We're gonna leave that alone. So y'all thought I was playing when I was talking about he had a helicopter and he traveled on a Learjet.
You stupid.
I'm just saying, sometimes, you know, it is what it is to get you from point A to point B. Hopefully I can attain that status.
Yeah, you always welcome to anything I'm doing. I don't care where it is. Okay, we have got to get you out there to have some fun with us. Okay,
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I appreciate that.
You know what you're gonna like though. One year you got to come to the April Fool's comedy show at the Garden. That's a fun show.
At where's it?
Massachusetts Garden.
Oh, at the Garden.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, the Mecca itself.
Yeah.
Look at you all over the place.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a blessing.
Yeah. I mean, it's good things going on. And again, I knock on wood because the phone's still ringing even through this COVID thing. And I'm getting to show my creative side. And once this is over, you know, and I got to shout out, but like coming up, you got to make cigars and Sundays. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm saying comedy and cigars.
Comedy and cigars.
Comedy and cigars. I moved it up closer. Okay, it used to be in Edgewater.
Yeah,
on the water.
Oh, ho. So to get to Edgewater, normally when you have a gated community like at the end of Park Avenue or certain parts of Beverly Hills, but when you got a whole town that's a gated community with River Road running down on it, I start getting nervous when I get to the chart house. This cat is in Edgewater. Now, you know, I'm a melanated, complected young man, and I got to watch out. And I used to be on the job. This joker's out there in Edgewater, all the how do you say, the upper echelon of the community, of the lighter complected. And he's consistently out there doing his thing. I need to, I know what I'm gonna do. Usually, my little gold badge I have in the windshield will get me through, but instead, I'm going to get the Apollo's own DJ Jess to make me a card, and I'm gonna have that in my wallet. So if I get stopped, I'm gonna say, yeah, but do you know I know the Apollo's own DJ Jess? Because everybody know about the Apollo.
Yeah, they do. That's really true. And the funny part is you say that, like, I've been in other countries and, like, on cruises and stuff like that, and that's where people relate me from, the Apollo. And it used to be funny at first, but, like, they really... Apollo is a tourist attraction.
Absolutely.
So when I first started, it was amazing to see only like 20% of us in there and 80% of tourists. And they just think it's the biggest thing. So when they see you, it's like, you're the DJ from the Apollo, and in their language, whatever. And I'll be like, yeah, and they're like, and most of them are short, so they want to take a picture from down here. So I was by myself leaning down, Yo, let me tell you, man, the picture aspect of it can be great and bad. I never forget, I was finishing one show at the Apollo, and these chicks rolled up on me, and they were like, well, you didn't shout us out. And they was just like, they was getting too friendly. And my wife is like the person you will never know she's there. She's real laid back. She understands what comes with what I do. And man, but these chicks was making like a whole scene. And they were like, come on, we taking a selfie. We taking a picture. And they went to take a selfie. That's the first time my wife ever said. She said, nope, I'll take the picture. And that's the first time I ever took a picture and felt uncomfortable. I'm in a picture like this. I couldn't even smile right, But big shout out to my wife, You know how I feel about her, and she holds me down like no other. But I love what I do, and we got stories for days, We got stories for days.
I actually believe you do have stories for days.
One day we're gonna talk about stories.
Yeah.
Especially on a comedy tour.
Okay. I want to hear. So, speaking about the tours, you actually weave your appearances at the Apollo around tours?
Oh yeah. You would do that, and then you would shoot to a city on the weekend, and do what you gotta do.
So right now, I believe you will. COVID restrictions, but you're on tour with
DL
Hughley.
Right.
How long is the tour?
Well, DL does different cities every weekend, and knock on wood, I don't have to do all the dates. Like we kind of figure out what dates fits, and things like that. And it's like kind of like slowly but surely getting back into it because everything with COVID and traveling. Yeah, but DL is like so easy and so great to work for because he just makes it easy, and he trusts me. I remember, like, once he asked me one time, he's like, all right, because he was coming out to a certain song when I got there. And he walked up to me and he was like, what you think I should come out to? He said, you pick it. And he's like, have it tomorrow. I was like, tomorrow? Man, that was so stressful. But you know me, I'm putting in work. So I went and I made it work, and he still uses that song today.
Really?
Yeah. And it's just fun. Now he has his dog on tour. So we have a road dog for real.
Really?
Yeah, he has a Shih Tzu. No, not Shih Tzu, but a big, he'll kill me. It's a big dog. The Husky.
The Husky. They shed a lot too.
Oh, this dog is everywhere,
They
bro.
got the Siberian Husky.
This dog flew out first class, bro.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You and the dog in first class with D.L. Hughley and his family. And the team, of course. Wow.
But no, the dog the dog is named Charlie Mack because Charlie and Bernie Mac. So it's Charlie Mack.
Combination.
Yeah. Because they were out with the Get Down with Charlie when he passed away.
Oh wow.
And, yeah. They were. It was him, Eddie Griffin, George Lopez, and DL. And that's the dates DL would do in between doing his own dates. It was the Get Down.
Oh, see, you learn something new every day.
Yeah.
You got to be a special person to pick your dates when you're working with a Class A performer like D.L. Hughley. you just got to add some juice or some power or something. Say, no, D.L., I can't make that. I got to be at the Apollo. So D.L., okay, I'll let you get that, and it's no problems. And you've known D.L. how long now?
5 years.
Wow.
I knew him sparingly before that, but been working 5 years.
Any more tours coming up?
Miami this weekend. Miami. I mean, that's dates every weekend.
Wow.
He's in a different place every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he is a working comedian, And the thing about the team is been the same forever. It's like between security, his featured act, his manager. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it, and it doesn't change. And to be a part of that family and be able to become a part of that family, you don't take that for granted. He took a chance on me because when I first came on with him, I was like, yo, just see what I can do. I'll do it for free. And I remember he's like, I said, tell him I'll do it for free. Just show him. And he allowed me to do it, but he wouldn't let me do it for free. He paid me. He was like, yo, this was a banging weekend. Take it. And I never forget.
See, so that's what I'm talking about. Now as his manager, I know I'm going to get paid. Because that W2, I just sent it. Who do I send it to? Do I send it to the Apollo's own DJ Jess, or just drop it in your mailbox? Past security. Well, I can just give it to security.
You can get security.
I get that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's a great thing because, like I said, I mean, like certain things change. One of my favorite parts, like when you get there, because like you go from him paying you direct to actually getting the check, and that lets you know, that's security, And I try to make those like what I do because it's great to get that cash, but when you have a rapport with like different things I do, because I also do a lot of stuff with Aetna. They bring me for a lot of different events. So those are what we try to do. Try to make connections and long-term relationships with folks.
Wow.
And that's my whole goal.
So are all of the stuff you're doing, everything, and you pretty much left the acting part out of it alone.
And the funny part is I left the acting part alone, but next week I'm actually shooting something.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So are you a type of person where you will give a little tidbit or just...
Yeah, I'm actually, next week I'm playing a lawyer.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can see that part.
I'm playing a lawyer next week. 2-day shoot, and I'm playing a lawyer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that'll be enough. So if you follow... you're on Facebook and you're on Instagram. You want to give a shout out to your addresses on those things?
Sure. You can follow me on any social media site at Apollo_DJ Jess, or you can also go to the Grown Folks Lounge 2020, or I have a fan page at Apollo's own DJ Jess on Facebook.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're the afternoon drive for Fridays?
Friday, you can catch me 5 to 7 on the legendary WNJRradio.com now with the Friday drive home from 5 to 7. Yes.
Dude, you got more jobs than I do, and I'm retired. Oh man, this gonna be the easiest money I ever made because I see you got it coming in. You just pay me cash. Hopefully, nobody from the IRS is listening. We're gonna listen. That's what I'm talking about. Joke is industrious. He's doing everything he got to do. I thought he was finished with his acting career. I thought that Halle Berry ruined him, and come to find out, he wasn't ruined. He's actually got other things going on, and I just happened to stumble upon that you actually be having another gig.
Yeah, next week. Yeah. The funny thing is, you'll shoot it, but you're not sure when it'll drop.
Right,
you just keep doing your thing. I shot another project that hasn't come out yet, but it's just a blessing. I just I keep grinding, and I give all the glory to God and my mom's. I want to shout her out up in heaven. My brother, thank you. I miss them, but I'm trying to keep making them proud.
Absolutely.
Definitely trying to do that.
You're making all of us proud. Like I said, with the Nasty Boys, as wild as we was.
Yeah, but I got to give you shout outs, man, because you put in a whole career, and you are still as funny as you were back then. You was talking about me being $140. You was like 136.
I was like, man, that was with 2 bricks in my pocket. I played shortstop. And I wasn't even as fast as you. My hands was nice. My hands are still nice.
You had quick hands.
Quick hands, absolutely. Boy, that's a career. I don't see how. Do you ever wake up in a hotel room and go, wait, what city am I in? Because you're constantly on the move.
Yeah. I mean, I ain't got that far yet, because you kind of like, it's more like where you going after that.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't where you at. But I do, when I'm on the mic, try to make sure I got the right city, because you don't want to shout the wrong city out. That commercial that was out a few years ago, that shit can be real. Son, Yeah, because I'll be like, sometimes I won't say the city because I'm not sure. I'll be like, and then because sometimes, you get caught up in it and you go to say something, you're like, so where we at again? I have done that, yo. You do not. People rep their cities. They love their cities. And especially ever since that commercial came out, when they do was like, yo, we in Detroit. I was like, yeah, that ain't going to happen to me. Because, all eyes are on you. And then to top that off, if you with a comedian, they going to let you know, yo, Jess, really? Really?
They really kind of like that?
Oh, comedians?
Yeah.
Son, let me tell you something. The one thing I learned was you have to be able to give it back. I don't care what comic you are with. You have to be able to have jokes. And people always say, yo, you could be a comedian. That's only because I'm around you so much. I mean, you picture being around Kevin Hart, Chris Tucker, Talent, Capone, Cheryl Underwood, all of them. And especially when it's a group of guys in. Because if we're just sitting there and we're kicking it, they look at you and they see a joke, and, you have to keep your dress game up. Because they look at you like, we got a picture of all of us in Miami. Red Grant, everybody. And Corey Holcomb had on a lime green suit. And I reposted that picture about maybe a year or two ago. And Talent, when I said, where the fuck was we at? I said, I'm sorry. He said, where were we at? I said, Miami. He said, what the hell was Corey wearing? And it became a running joke. And I know Corey wanted me to take that picture down.
I gotta go. Listen, could you just send it to me?
Yo, I'm gonna show you the picture.
Please. Yes.
Yo, but I'm just saying, those are the jokes. I remember being out there, and I think I told you this story. First or second tour we was on, and I had my man, and the only thing he was supposed to be was the driver. And I'm in the club. I'm rocking the club out for the after party, and they come. It's like, yo, you gotta get your man. I'm like, yeah, I gotta get my man. You gotta get your man. I'm like, what? You gotta get him? He said, come. Put on the long sign over there. My driver is in the waterfall drunk and sleeping. The water just running all over him. I was like, you gotta be shitting me, yo. First of all, we trying to stay on this. You making us look bad. And that was his last tour.
Unfortunately, it's understandable.
He was a driver.
He had one job.
He had one job. Get us from point A to point B. And I ain't gonna shout that, I ain't gonna blow him up, but B, son. But no, seriously, man, you had to be on point because the jokes are no jokes.
Endless.
You could feel like you got your best outfit on, and they make you want to change.
Wow.
Yeah, the jokes are no jokes, bro.
Listen, I can only imagine. So a typical year, you do how many tours?
Oh shit, a lot. I just say a lot. Yeah, let me tell you something. Like, I've slowed down, but there's been times, man, when it was nothing to do, and I'm not exaggerating at all, like 250 events a year.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm talking about, like, sometimes 2 and 3 and 1. Yeah. I mean, I'm blessed to work. Like, working. Like, it was a full calendar. You go from here to there, here to there, here to there. I definitely it's managed a lot more differently now. So it's definitely not that many, but it's still a nice, like, in a regular year in a nice schedule.
It's constant.
Yeah. I mean, that's the good part about it, and I have a team, so like stuff that I can't make, I see if they'll allow somebody from my team to cover it for me, and most of the time they do, because even the DJs that roll with me, we've been together for 15 to 20 years. So, they know you're getting a quality DJ.
Wow. So you covering all your bases.
Oh yeah. Because I know I'm not going to play forever, but when my playing days are over, I still want to allow my company, which is Just Music Entertainment, to continue to, entertain folks.
You want to give a shout out to your entertainment one more time, the name of it?
Just Music Entertainment, sponsored by Wolf Nation.
Wolf Nation's out there in the hallway.
Wolf Nation's definitely out there. Make sure you guys go to Wake Up and Live Free Apparel. That's what Wolf Nation stands for. And go grab some of that apparel. This brother has, it's unlimited, and it's the fall season, so they got them great bomber jackets, and for the men, the ladies, the kids, he has apparel for everybody. It's the hottest thing going. So I appreciate them sponsoring me.
That's what's up right there.
Yes.
So when is there gonna be a DJ Jess tour?
There's no need to be.
There's no need to be?
No. See, the thing about it, let me tell you something. I will do the events in my backyard,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but I do getaways. So let me take that back.
Mm-hmm.
I do a couple of events on the islands a year. So you can definitely catch those. But for the most part, I love working for other people, you know, and I love creating mine in between.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because see, the thing about it is if you're creating your own, creating an event, you know, if you do it right, takes time. You know, and that's why you see my cigars and Sundays here, and you see my 4th of July event. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they're spread it out because it's about quality of event. My name's behind it, you know, and I built a name, and I try to make sure I'm just throwing something together. So to do, you know, a few events a year and make them super quality and giving people, because people will tell you when you come, you know, it's like it's not a care in the world, and from the entertainment to the food to just the whole environment is on another level, and that's what I want to give you. You know, so at work, that's hard work, and my wife is like so on point that she ain't gonna allow it to be anything else. So we don't need more than 2 of those, because if I want to buy 2 of these, she gonna tell me I need 10. So I'm like, okay, and I like, you know, I like to break it up,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because when you're working for other people, you know, it's a high, you know, because you're trying to put in your piece of the pie, your piece of the puzzle, you know, and fill it in and to be able to have a complete show that's fire, you know, and know that you added to that, you know, it's nothing like it. So that's a bigger high to working for other people than for myself.
So you do hotel atriums, you do yachts,
Yeah.
or boat rides, big boat rides. You do parks in Scotch Plains,
Yeah, Jersey Land.
Jersey Land, where we used to play ball on. You had an event out there. What type of event was it?
It was a social distance comedy and cigar event, it was a lot more than I thought it would be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, thank God. I mean, the people came and drove, but we rented the whole park, so we everybody's table was like 12 feet apart. Had some of my great comedy friends come in, and it was a great Saturday. And I plan on doing. My goal is to do one every month, starting in like April.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my. I love that spot, you know, and so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm hoping to do that up there this year.
And,
So
and the park is actually in the cut.
it's in the cut. It's plenty of parking. I mean, some people we got overflow. They're parking on the street, but it's plenty. It's spacious. It's spacious as ever. Cause I rented out for the 4th of July. I rented out space 2 picnic areas in Roselle. You know, for my other venue, because I wanted people to have so much space, and that was great.
Mm-hmm.
But we got a few small complaints about the music. You know, and again, like I don't understand. You're in a park, and you're starting at 12 noon, and you're only going at like 6 or 7. So how are you complaining?
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it was what it was. You know, we got through. Thank God. You know, having some officers with you helps out. You know, but we worked it out and turned it down and made it respectful. But we got through it. But I like to go where, you know, when you got to worry about those restrictions. You know, because it's during the day. Everybody
Right.
come to have a good time.
Right.
You know, so
Listen.
it's working.
Man, I'm trying to tell you, I'm trying to figure out another way that we can make some more money. Gotta keep them W-2s coming through. Any other comedians that you've actually worked for that you're looking to work for, adding some more to the tour, or does DL take up the majority of your touring time?
I mean, DL's where it's at right now. I'm not really looking to jump ship or, you know, roll with anybody else, because we have a great rapport, a great working relationship. So I don't look forward to changing that anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I've worked for so many great people, you know, but again, I would put him at the top right now, because he's doing his thing. He's doing the numbers. It's a family affair, you know. There's nothing to prove, so you just go in, you do your part of the job, and boom, you know, it's comfortable. I know how it's gonna roll, you know. And as you get older, that's what you want.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you want, you know. It don't have to be no bigger than that, you know, because there's other things that I'm doing, so that fits perfectly for me, you know.
In your time frame.
Exactly, you know. So if I can't make a date, it's able, you know, it's okay. You know, with other ones, they may want you there, and then it may be like, well, you know, you got to make a choice. You know, I don't want, why would you go over here when you may have to make a choice, and it may not fit. You know,
Right.
It fits. Everything fits.
See? Good, it works.
Yeah.
That's why me being your new manager will work good for me with that W-2 and everything else that's assigned with it. We're here at 135 Prince Street, that Hub Life Radio with the Apollo's own DJ Jess, the only DJ that's ever been signed to the Apollo at Amateur Night. That's huge. The Amateur Night started way back when. In when?
You know, the funny part about Amateur Night is when Amateur Night started, I was like I said, everybody knows about Showtime and Amateur Night and stuff like that. When they said we're starting, I would be kicking off season number 75. That's like 75. Yeah. I was kicking off season 75. So this was going 75 years before I even got there. You know, so I'm asking my mother for pointers. I'm like, well, let me talk to you. You know? And Mama was like, yeah, I remember we used to be at the Apollo. We stood up. There wasn't no seats there. This, that, and the other. I'm really asking my parents for, like, pointers, yo. And now, you know, it's like when we started, it'll be like season 87.
Wow.
You know?
That's a blessing.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and it's just like, and the funny part is I am still the baby of the bunch. Like, Capone's been hosting the show for 20 years. C.P. Lacey, who plays the Sandman, he's been there like 26. Joe Gray was 30 plus. He actually retired at the beginning of the last season. I will always be grateful for him. And like Ray Chu, he was there for my first couple of seasons. Guy's a beast. I mean, the band, like you don't even understand. Like you get to work with some of the greatest artists there is. You know, Michael Mitchell, who's part of Hamilton and Motown, all these Broadway shows, yeah. And I mean, I love entertainment because there's great perks. You know, I get to see some great Broadway plays that people can't even get into. So those are some of the great things, you know, that come with this, and I like that part.
That perk, that's the perk right there.
Yeah, because I mean, like Hamilton was a hard ticket to get, you know, and I was able to be right up in there.
Finagle, like you used to do with your acting career.
Yeah. But no, the funny part is they ain't even finagle anymore. Just make a phone call.
Okay, now,
it was good.
Before, when you was trying to be on Strictly Business.
Oh yeah, that was. Let me tell you, man. Those days taught me a lot, you know, because it showed me that, you know, there's only a few slots, and you have to be able to either be good at what you do or have some way to get yourself in there, because, you know, everybody wants to do what you do, you know, and you hope to be blessed, and like I always say, be prepared, you know, and that's what I've done, and it allowed me a lot of great things, you know, and I wouldn't be able to do any of this if I didn't have my wife on my side. I got to give her credit, you know.
Biggest supporter. But she's more than a supporter. She actually is my biggest supporter and my biggest critic. You know. How so?
Well, you know, because like she points out stuff that I don't want to talk about until after a few days of the event. You know, I can be on a high coming from an event, and we be in a car, and you know, I have to come down from an event because I leave everything on the stage or wherever I'm at, and she be riding, and I'm replaying this whole show in my head, and I'll ask her a question, and why I do that? Yo, she just give you the straight, blunt answer. What you should have done was, and I'm like, she said, you know me, if you ask me, I'm gonna give you the truth. I'm like, so now we ride, and she's like, you ain't gonna ask me nothing? No, I'm gonna enjoy this moment, you know. And then there'll be times where she go, you killed it, that was good, you know. But I'd be like, yo, I ain't asking her nothing, nothing, you don't understand. I'd be walking around the house, I'd be like, yo, I ain't gonna ask her nothing. She said, I'll tell you. I be like, nah, I'm good.
Uh-huh.
And I'm replaying like, yo, I love her to death, yo, but she give it to you, yo.
That Pandora's box?
Oh, I love that woman, but she will give it to you. And this little stuff, I be like, how did you see that? Because I'll be at shows sometime, and I know my wife done seen 400 amateur nights, you know. So I'm doing what I do, and people are up and they're dancing, and I look down at her, and she doing a game on her phone. I'm like, yo, you can't do that. You know, she be like, how many times I saw this? I said, yeah, but you know, you gotta act interested, you know. She'd be like, okay. I'd be like, all right. I understand you waiting to get to the talent part of it. You done heard your husband play, 10,000 more times. Still, but she'd be like, because the open part of the show, besides different music, is the same routine. So I get it.
Right.
You know, but I'd be laughing. I'd be like, yo, I know they're going to be like, why is this woman not interested in the show? Because, you know, she gets this good seat. She's right up front. You know, but then the crazy part is, the rest of the show comes on, and she all into it. So I'm like, well, what, is my part of the show boring?
So what I take out of that is, when you was doing the Grown Folks Lounge, when you very first started it, it looked like you was in the hallway of the house, like when you first come in or something.
My wife gave me a corner, bro. She's like, people will not see my house. Ain't nobody invade my house because they saw this on your screen. So she gave me a corner, and I'm like, what, like a little over 6 feet, and she gave me 5 feet, so it's really tight, yo. But no, that's what she gave me. And the funny part is, doing all this, I restructured part of downstairs and made it a straight studio. Well, that's what you see with the man cave.
Now.
And I have that now, with a different backdrop. So we made it work.
Obviously.
Yeah, she's like, we're going to do this just for you.
See?
Yeah.
Partnerships.
It is a part. Yo, let me tell you something. And it's funny because when I travel, I can't wait to get back home. Because my wife, when we first started, man, there wasn't nowhere she wasn't. And after a while, like everything, it wears her out. She's like, you have fun? Yeah, I could be going to Jamaica. She's like, how many days you going? I'd be like, I'll be there for 2. I'll see you back. If it ain't more than 3 days staying over, you can go without me.
Really?
Yeah, man. Yeah. We'll talk on the phone and FaceTime, but she'd be like, I can't do all these events no more. Because like I was saying, I think those years when I was doing, she was there. You know, she was riding with me because the kids are grown. So she was riding with me. But she was like, whoa, how many times can you hear follow me? Shit.
And we heard that on the plane going to Puerto Rico.
Exactly.
And that was back in the early 90s.
Man, she's like, yo. And because she'd be like, yo, you should play this. But I said, you don't understand. Certain places, people are so in a box. You know, you want to hit them with this, but some things you got to be conservative with them. You got to wiggle it. And I taught her those type of things, what I was talking about, because I did one day, man. She's like, yo, tell me, do this. I did it just for her. She was like, you know what you're doing. You still. I'm like, I know this. You know, you learn how to read folks after a while. So
when you go into a spot, is it you go with a set already planned, or is it just?
Oh, you can't do that.
You can't
do that. You know, you have an idea of where you want to go, but you can't stick to that because elements change. You know, and if you go in there with this is how I'm gonna do it, and then you got to go left and you ain't prepared to go left, you look real crazy. Because you know, when the music ain't right, they looking right at you like ain't no look away. They looking at you like, okay, so what was that? You know, so no, I have folders in my and every folder will be able to do whatever I need to do. Okay. So after a while you don't really get intimidated by a spot, or I know how to make adjustments. I know you learn what works where. You know, I got a zillion songs I can start a party. You know, you just learn. You really learn. You know, and it depends on how long you're playing. You know, in time you just there's things you learn.
So did that help you when you was at the amateur night at Apollo, when you was starting up the crowd and everything? You already knew? You knew how to read the crowd, or what? I
learned how to read the crowd. Because, see, you got to understand, you're dealing with a lot of other ethnicities and stuff like that. You know, people from all over the world. So you learn, you know, what works with what group of people. Like, if I when I hit the stage, I have an opening which starts and goes about a minute and 30 seconds. After that, you know, you're looking and you're seeing what's out there, you know, what groups, and then you go, okay, this is where I'm going with this, and then you go from there. But yeah, you read the crowd as soon as you walk on stage.
It's called experience.
Yeah, that's no, but that's what it's called. Yeah, you learn how to read the crowd. You know, because there's been times when I put on a song that didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at the Apollo, and again, early years you learn. Okay, that took a little energy away.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole thing about doing an event, a party, is the energy keeps going up. You know, when I first started, there was moments like this. There really were. But you learn. You know, if you play the same song that brings the party down consistently, that's shame on you. You know, so you learn what works.
Here at 135 Prince Street, that Hub Life Radio, Arts and Therapy, we have the Apollo's own DJ Jess. Sort of like a remix up in here.
It is.
Without the corn liquor, without the burning sage like our last guest. We was just up in here just chopping it up. My dude I've known for quite a long time.
Oh my God, yeah, we go 30 plus.
30 plus?
Yes.
Even though I'm only 21? You got to figure that out. I ain't got to figure it out. I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't like it, get over it. Yo, brother, it's been a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure.
Always
man.
a pleasure. Now, I know I got to go to Showtime with the Apollo. Check out my man DJ Jess.
You really do.
Yo, so let me tell you something. Because we liked you so much, that Hub Life t-shirt, show it to the camera.
Oh, no doubt.
The other camera.
Okay.
That Hub Life is from Mr. Hub himself, Al-Tariq Best.
I appreciate that. I really do. Hold it up. Here we go.
Oh, man. From the
it's
action
loaded,
director.
man. It's loaded. I love this. I love this. But I'm going to tell you, man, when I come back, I would love to wear this.
Oh, yes.
You know, I mean, that would be a nice thing. But, again, I won't pull my shirt off till I get here. This is red, man.
Yeah. Especially where you at.
You trying to end my career.
You got to be careful. Bruh, I'm walking with a sheep. You walking with red. We got to watch out.
Yeah.
When you come back, we should have a sign up there. We got to get you the sign. Legends. It's not exactly the log at the Apollo, but what it is the legends. People we think we're legendary. We want to make sure that the people that come on this show smell their flowers while they're here. It's better to be seen than viewed.
Yeah, it is.
You are definitely a legend. It's an honor and a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
For the remix. Anybody else you want to shout out or give love to while we on?
Sure. I want to shout out Team Jess, my team, the team that holds me down like no other. I thank you. Everybody in my Grown Folks Lounge. I want to shout you out, bro. And we have been friends, like I said, for 30 plus years.
Appreciate it. Yep.
And the funny part is, no matter whether we see each other once every year or once a month, we catch up, and it's like, yo, we're brothers, you know, from another mother. Absolutely. And I thank you for all your friendship and bring me on your show. You know, it's nothing like it, yo.
Much
and I gotta shoot. I say one last thing. Big shout out to Upscale Magazine. They did 2 articles on me, and I appreciate.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I'm making my third appearance in their magazine, so I appreciate them. So I got to give Upscale a big shout out.
Wow, you just all over the place, man. It's much love. Thank you for coming. My man DJ, the Apollo's own DJ Jess, here at 135 Prince Street, that Hub Life Radio. I'm Russell Thomas with Legends, and we out.